Welcome back. Traits of a leader. Now, you may be an individual contributor, or you may be managing a group of salespeople or entrepreneur, a variety of different things. The point of this topic is there's leadership skills in all of us. And I've learned as an individual contributor, as a salesperson, now as an entrepreneur, that leadership skills are really important in my day-to-day development and growth. It's like having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. What I would like to do is share with you very briefly these 10 tips to help you be a better leader within your sphere of influence. Number one is having a very strong work ethic. As I mentioned earlier, you have to take action. You have to be disciplined in order to accomplish your particular goal. Having a very strong work ethic is really important. In corporate America, I was able to excel in my career within that particular arena. And I did so not because I was trying to outperform the person to the left of me or to the right. I just simply did what I was hired to do. My wife says I'm a literal person, and I am just that. If my job description says this is what I need to do, I am going to do just that. And what I found out through my journey is that most people, unfortunately, do not do what they were hired to do. They make some level of adjustments. And when they make those adjustments, which is not necessarily in alignment with their job description, that's when they venture off and can get them into trouble. So I believe in following that job description to the T, and then also working my butt off. The next one, you heard me say it once, if not say it twice, is having a very positive attitude. You have an option. You can have a positive attitude, or you can have a negative attitude. Having a positive attitude works well for me. And I'm very careful about connecting with myself or interacting with people that has a negative attitude. Now, I would be the first one to try to encourage people. I would be the first one to try to give a person a different perspective, to help them see the glass is half full versus empty. But if they insist on being negative Nancy's, hey, they can have it. Because eventually, if I'm not careful, that will begin to impact me and my thoughts and my methodologies about life. And I want to be very careful with that. I want to protect it. So I would encourage you to have a very positive attitude. The next one would be really good communication skills. And we talked about that previously. So good communication skills aren't just verbally communicating and talking. It's also writing. There's other ways of communicating. You want to make sure that you're mastering those to the best of your ability. There could be areas of improvement for all of us, and that's okay. I just encourage you to work on those continuously until you get it right. As a matter of fact, another one of the quotes that I enjoyed from Les Brown, he says, anything is worth doing badly until you get it right. It's okay to make mistakes. Just don't quit. The next one is problem-solving skills. Problem-solving skills is a great leadership skills. Instead of being part of the problem, you want to be part of the solution. So regardless of the product or service in which you represent, you are subject to have an issue or challenge with that. And where this may impact your ability to deliver that level of customer service that you're seeking, things get in the way, I clearly understand. But instead of complaining about it and being part of the problem, I try to figure out a solution. And by doing so, you become cohesive with the team and often with leadership. And that was one of the key strategies that I used throughout my career to go into leadership in the companies that I work for, is being part of the solution and not the problem. The next one is acting as a team member. Now, granted, if you have your individual sales quota, that could be looked upon like an individual sport, meaning that you just got to take care of you. But what I've learned is that the more I share with my team members, the more they also share with me. But sometimes we're trying to protect our secret sauce. Hey, if I share with my team members what I'm doing, then they're going to go out and do the exact same thing. Throughout my career, I found out that that is not the case. A case in point would be, I was meeting and exceeding my quota while I was working for a wireless company back in the day. And I was new to the wireless industry, and this was in Houston, Texas. And the third month into the organization, we were having our quarterly meeting, and the general manager stood up and said, Richard Marks is going to receive the ARPU award, which stands for Average Revenue Per Unit. And they said, Richard, please tell us, how did you do this? I'm like, well, according to the training manual, it said I needed to do X, Y, and Z. And those are the things that I did. They were so impressed is that the general manager stood me in front of the entire sales team and they said, managers, you guys need to invite Richard to your training and ask him what is he doing, how is he having this level of success? Because I was also meeting and exceeding my quota and I had zero industry experience and I was new to the city of Houston where we were living at the time. So I got really nervous. I'm like, what can I tell these people? And the people that I had to communicate with, i.e. my peers, all of them had a wireless background. I was one of the only people they hired that did not have a wireless background. So I'm thinking, what can I possibly tell them? They came from all other wireless companies. So I remember talking to my boss, and I asked him, like, how do I have this dialogue and conversation with people who have been in the industry longer than me? He said, Richard, just share with them what you've been doing. I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I walked into the training room the morning of this presentation, and I bring in my training manual. And I said, turn to page 27. And page 27 told me that I needed to make 40 telephone calls per day. It said I needed to knock on 25 doors per day. And by doing that, I would be able to have 5 appointments per day. And if I position the product in alignment with the way it was illustrated to me in the book, it will yield X amount of revenue. Ta-da! That's all I did. And that sort of validates what I shared with you earlier. Sometimes people do not do what they were hired to do. They have a better idea or they take the path of least resistance. And when you do that and begin to cut corners, it can also have an impact on your organization or your ability to meet and exceed your objective. This is a leadership trait. I realized that in order for me to meet my goals and objective, who would know better than me? Maybe the company who hired me. So if I follow their instructions, if I follow the manual, chances are I would be successful. In front of you is your manual. In front of you is the playbook that will help you meet and exceed your goal. And taking on this leadership skill and this trait would help you do so. Let's continue. The next one is having self-confidence. That was the very first training that we talked about a few days ago. Self-confidence in you. Self-confidence is in your having confidence in your ability, in your judgment, in your thought process. If you don't believe in you, who's going to believe in you? So you're having that self-confidence and knowing that you can achieve something. And the fact of the matter is maybe this new goal or this new opportunity in front of you you've never done before, so there's some anxiety and stress and you're wondering if you can do it. The fact of the matter is you've been achieving goals your entire life. So there's an artist out there, we all know her, her name is Beyonce. She has this wonderful song out there that came out several years ago. It was called Flawless. And there's a little segment of the song and it says something like this. I woke up like this, I woke up like this. I can't do her moves, so excuse me with that one. But the fact of the matter is you did not wake up like this, meaning that you've been achieving goals your entire life. When you were crawling, you wanted to walk. When you were walking, you wanted to run. You wanted to get a driver's license. You wanted to date this girl or that guy. You wanted to go to this particular school. You wanted to generate X amount of revenue. And the fact of the matter is human beings are goal seekers, and that's great. But if you never achieved that goal before, at times you will have reasonable doubt, and that is okay. Just have confidence in yourself that is, if I was able to achieve this goal in my past experience, this new goal that's in front of me, I can achieve that too. Believe in you. Trust in you. Again, you didn't wake up like this, and that's because you've been achieving goals your entire life. Trust the value of you. Believe in you. I call it trust yourself with yourself. Say that with me, please. Trust yourself with yourself. You're not going to purposely sabotage yourself. You're going to, of course, at times have negative thoughts. That's okay. Just don't rest there. If you were able to achieve one goal, you're able to achieve this new goal that's in front of you. I know you can do it. You know you can do it. Just believe it. The next one is the ability to accept and learn from criticism. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake. Sometimes you're not going to get it right. Sometimes you will just simply fail. As long as that's not done purposely, it's okay. For those who are going to criticize you, I call it constructive criticism. These are people that care about you. They care about your outcome. They want you to be successful. Sometimes I've learned to be open to that information. Now, I would be the first to admit sometimes it's very hard to listen to. And especially if it's coming from someone very close to you. Because you have a history with them and they have a history with you. So when they begin to criticize you, you often reject that information because you're hey, you need to get yourself together before you start criticizing me. And we take it so personal and we don't listen. But if that person truly has your best interest at heart, I would encourage you to pay attention to it. In order to get to the destiny, in order to reach your goals, in order to accomplish some of your dreams, it's going to require you to be a different person than you are today. Think about that for a moment. The goals and the things that you seek, the things that I would like to accomplish, means that I'm going to have to make some changes internally. And usually it lies in the area of self-discipline and or knowledge or more information that's going to help me get to my desired outcome. Don't take this stuff personal. If someone is willing to share with you an idea or a thought that will help you be a better person, to help you achieve your goals sooner versus later, I would encourage you to embrace it. It may just work out. And then finally, be flexible. Being flexible and being adaptable to your situation. Again, oftentimes things don't work out just the way you want them to, and you may have to pivot or adjust accordingly. That's flexibility and adaptability. And working well under pressure. You know, it's really interesting enough that in order for you to really get to your optimal outcome, to accomplish the goals that you really want to accomplish, requires some level of pressure. Pressure is not a bad thing. Pressure often is pushing you further into your destiny versus not. If things are just laid back and easy going, if you're going at your own pace, sometimes it will take you longer to reach your desired outcome. But when pressure is applied, there's something unique and special about that, but it brings out the best of you. It brings out the best of me. Notice I'm sweating a little bit. I'm feeling pressure to get this information out to you to help you accomplish your goal. This is really good. It's designed to help you and I become better. Embrace the pressure. Embrace the leadership traits, and I guarantee you great things will happen. Thank you.